Good morning, I'm meteorologist Bo Dotson. It is Friday, August 12th, 2016. We've got a lot going on in the weather department. Let's get right to it. We do have this tropical like system along the Gulf of Mexico. We've been talking about this for more than a week now. It's dropping very heavy rain over Louisiana, parts of Mississippi. Over 20 inches of rain has fallen from this system along parts of the Gulf Coast. This is the big blob of moisture that we're going to be watching over the coming days. Look to our north. You see these high cloud tops here, these reds, oranges, and yellows. Those are thunderstorms along an incoming cold front. That front will move into our region tonight and on Saturday, and it will stall out. Where it stalls out is very important because along the front and north of the front is where our heaviest rain will fall. You see these green areas here. This is a flash flood watch that's been issued by National Weather Service offices for parts of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. They have not issued the watch for all of our counties, and you see that here. Some of our western Kentucky counties and the Missouri Boot Heel and Northwest Tennessee are not included in this watch. Now, that could change. It depends on where the cold front stalls out. Again, where the front stalls out is key to how much rain will fall over the coming days. This is what's going to happen. The cold front will enter our region tonight and on Saturday. It will then stall out and become stationary. It may waver around a little bit, a few counties this way and that, but again, along the north of it is where the heaviest rain will fall as this blob of moisture, this tropical like system to our south, becomes entrained into the cold front, and all that moisture will be wrung out over our region. So the next question is this: how much rain is going to fall? There are many different opinions on how much rain will fall with this system. This map here is from NOAA, the National Weather Service. They're showing 10 inches over parts of southern Illinois and southeast Missouri. They're basing this forecast basically off the GFS model and the EC model. You see how the moisture feed goes back to the Gulf of Mexico up in our area. That's where our moisture is coming from. Cold front from the northwest, moisture from the south, stalls out over our region, and we have several days of very heavy rain. Flash flooding and flooding is a concern. All the areas in red here are looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. Again, this is a forecast from the National Weather Service and NOAA. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Let's take a look at a model guidance package. This is the SARIF guidance. These are ensembles. Basically, this is a bunch of NAM models run together to see what they come up with as a mean. You can see it places the heaviest rain over southern Ohio into western Kentucky. This package, the NAM, the SARIF guidance, is further south and east than the other data. Keep that in mind. Maybe the front makes it 3 or 4 counties further east. That's a very real possibility. We're only talking a few air miles. So anyone in our area is in play for heavy rain. Just because the official forecast is for the heaviest rain to fall from Missouri to Illinois does not mean that's what's going to happen. We all need to pay attention to changing weather forecasts and changing updates. Flash flood watches and warnings will likely continue through the entire weekend into early next week. Flash flood warning means flooding is imminent. Flash flood watch means flooding is possible. So keep that in mind. Let me show you what are the probabilities of 4 or more inches of rain falling. This is from the SARIF ensemble package. Again, it centers the heaviest probability, the highest probabilities from Louisville, Kentucky to Paducah, Kentucky. It does not center them over Missouri and Illinois. Keep that in mind. Again, different models show different things. This is what the Weather Service and WPC is basing their forecasts off of, the EC guidance. This is the mean numbers. Running that model 54 times, this is what it comes up with as a mean. It has the heaviest rains over southern Illinois and southeast Missouri, exactly where NOAA and the National Weather Service has placed them. Of course, it shows heavy rain for all of us. It's just the heaviest is to the southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. Alright, so that's the EC. If you were to zoom in on the EC, you would see some very big totals. It's showing 10, 12, 13, 14 inches of rain over parts of Missouri and Illinois. Again, this is guidance. As I always tell you, guidance is not gospel. It's just a model's opinion on what may fall and where. There are disagreements on this. This is the EC if you were to zoom out a little bit. So you can see a lot of rain in our region based on that model. Now, let's move over to the GFS guidance. This is an American model. It does fairly well sometimes in the short range, and it's showing the heaviest rain exactly where National Weather Service and WC placed their totals, pretty much over southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. It has 2, 3, 4 inches of rain into West Kentucky. It has over 7 or 8 inches of rain over parts of Missouri and Illinois. So the EC and the GFS look fairly similar. Those are two models. They look fairly similar. The model that's not agreeing with the GFS and EC would be the NAM model, and it's showing less. It's showing quite a bit less, and it's also focusing the heaviest totals over Kentucky. This is another map from the GFS, a different run. They run 4 times a day, and it centers the heaviest rain over Missouri. Alright, so we have a lot to monitor over the coming days. This is what I would encourage you to do. I would encourage you to watch Changing Forecasts. I'll keep the Bo Dotson Weather Facebook page updated regularly. You can ask questions there. Keep in mind I am on vacation, but I will see the questions throughout the day and try to answer them as soon as possible. If you live in a flood prone area, then I would suggest you closely monitor any flood warnings or flash flood warnings. If you live near streams or rivers that easily flood, you may have problems. If you live in low-lying areas that usually have problems, you may have problems. If you live in areas that flash flood, now that's a difference. River flooding and stream flooding isn't always the same as flash flooding, and you know who you are. If you live in those areas that occasionally receive very heavy rain in the summer and flash flood, then you need to closely monitor the situation. There could be trailing storms move over the same areas for several hours. If that happens, you will likely have flash flooding. So this is a concern for our entire area. If you are not in the flash flood watch, I would encourage you to continue to monitor, as more counties may have to be added as we figure out where the cold front stalls. All right, that's it for now. Sorry about the bad news. We don't need this rain. I know we don't need flooding. Let's keep an eye on it. There are some models that disagree about just how much rain falls. I know the NAM, which is supposed to be a really good short range model, it's showing much less rainfall. It's only showing 1 to 3 inches of rain versus the 4 to 10 inches of rain on the other model. So there's still some chance that some of the forecasts may change. So keep that in mind.